Human rights are useless without culture and society. Lacking these, they only exist on paper. This is another great post from Peter Bach. He has a strange left-field imagination, which is quite uncommon, and you can see it in his writing. I do try to emulate this in mine, but all too often fall short. Reference to his piece, I am perplexed. Without society, human rights are nothing more than theoretical marks on bits of paper or records within computers. This dependence is absolute. But society is dangerously ignorant about itself, culture and democracy. The first two, lacking consciousness to reason, accommodate contradiction, creating a conspiracy of hypocrisy necessary to allow that we are all different, and everyone, to a greater or less extent, a hypocrite. Culture, essential to society, is likewise free of the iron law of logic. So individuals are squared with the two greatest abstractions, without which we could not cooperate sufficiently to make human rights real. In this way, individual human nature, there are as many human natures as there are humans, is squared with the collective, and those two abstractions are made by everyone. Many rioting sense the danger that rights of any kind could, in extreme, evaporate without due respect for society and culture that makes them actual. Democracy engages with society, making as much sense out of it as possible. So doing, it accords agency to that otherwise impotent abstraction. Its ability to accommodate contradiction is essential in this process. Ideological politicians in control of the UK government appear intent on crushing culture and society in the belief that human rights can exist without any foundations. Some may believe that it's possible to remodel, reconstruct, or simply replace bad culture and society by legislation, making things good, unaware that effective law is a product of society, not what creates it, which is mutual agreement, disagreement, and tolerance of all those who consider themselves within its bounds, either actively or tacitly, by way of dependence and engagement. Throwing a book at protesters and rioters who believe they are on the side of society and culture against a regime intent on their destruction and elimination of essentials of cooperation is monumentally self-defeating, metaphorically and in extreme. It's a bit threatening, this, literally. Society and culture entities are intersubjective, consisting of non-logic. Although massively influential, they can't be analysed because analysis assumes consistency. But it's possible to identify them in other ways. Academic failure to understand this is as breathtaking as it's dangerous. They've left human rights bereft of an intellectual foundation, beyond trying to use the law as a futile battering ram in a doomed-to-fail project to legislate people to be good. You only need to see the resurrection of the Troubles in Northern Ireland and feel political earthquake tremors in the rest of the UK. It's illegal to be bad, encapsulates the close to criminal absurdity in the heads of politicians who really should know better. Non-logical society is vital and highly sophisticated. Without it, there can be no human rights. It follows that society must come first. But if you don't know or understand what society is, or how to make sense from its chaotic nature, things can get very dangerous. I'm sure Keir Starmer realises the situation, but he's sort of punching in the dark. He really doesn't understand what he's aiming at, and he doesn't understand how to do it. Instead, he's resorting to authoritarian, the law must be the law, and this sort of bullshit, which to me is a sign of someone who really should not be in that post. We need someone vastly more sophisticated than a rule-by-the-book lawyer. Someone understands nuance, the ability to, in a manner of speaking, see round corners. Someone more like, though she'd never have done this job and not quite up to it, like Mo Mowlam, who in the last years of her life, the last months, managed to stop or put an end to the troubles in Northern Ireland. And that involved engagement with people who would otherwise be considered illegal and generally terrible. She brought Sinn Féin into the fold. Starmer must bring these rioters and what's upsetting them into the fold in a similar manner. But the chance of him doing that, quite frankly, no, I think hell would freeze over first. He's a very, very dangerous man. Anyway, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this for what it's worth. Things are full of doom and gloom at the time being, but I think we can get over it with some intellectual effort as well as genuine political skill. There's a long way to go, but I have a lot of hope.